Hey, got anything to say?
Sure. When you go to the store in the morning, you get an energy drink on your way to the trail. Get the big can, comes with a lid. That way you don't spill any of that sweet nectar when you hit the bumps.
I meant about the trail.
Oh, in this video, we're going to review the Wild Country ATV Trail along the North Shore of Minnesota. And we're going to start right now. That's a friggin' sweet pro tip right there. Look at that, we're less than 30 seconds in, and you've already gained good information. Aren't you glad you checked this video out? My name is Chris. This is Midwest ATV, where it's all about bringing you the latest in trail information, product testing, and just other ATV-related content. So, if you're new, consider tapping that subscribe button. And like I mentioned, we're going to talk about the Wild Country ATV Trail. We're just going to go ahead and jump right in at the trailhead. All right, so this right here is the main trailhead, and I got to say, it's freaking huge. It's probably the largest trailhead I've ever seen before. And on top of that, it's also got a ramp for loading or offloading if you trailer your ATV on your truck, in which case you wouldn't be trailering. So I don't know why I said that. I really got to lay off the energy drinks. It's also got some bathrooms here, so it's a pretty decent trailhead overall. There are a couple other trailheads as well, here and here. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the trail. One thing I want to mention is you do have to cross the street from this trailhead. There is a spot that almost looks like it might be the trail. It's not it. It's for snowmobiles in the wintertime. You can forget about it. You got to cross the gravel road, and that's where the trail really starts. So Class 1 and Class 2 are allowed on this trail system, which is your ATV and your UTV. The trail itself is 30 miles in length, but the thing to remember with that is this is a out and back trail. So if you go 30 miles out, you're coming 30 miles back. That's realistically 60 miles in a day. So if you take the whole thing, it's really going to be more than 30 miles. Now, I do want to mention too, if you've been on this trail before, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about it, and then that way others can read those comments and kind of get some other perspectives of the trail. Now, the open season for this trail is 15 May through November, which kind of surprises me because realistically, this far up the North Shore, through November, you've got snow on the ground. So if you're looking to get some snowy trail access in early November, definitely consider checking this out. I am curious to see though, and one thing I would look at this winter is if they shut it down once the snow actually hits. So we'll find out, but according to the website, they're open through November. Now, as far as the ground type goes, it's 50% dirt, 33% gravel, and 15% rock. And the reason the gravel is so high at 33% is approximately 8 miles of this trail are on big logging roads. And depending on the type of trail you're looking for, that's kind of a bummer. And I say that because if you're riding this trailhead, you're probably looking more for those dirt trails that just go through the forest. They really make you feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere. And that gravel experience kind of takes away from that. So the only nice thing is it is a nice change of pace, and it's only 8 miles of the trail. So when you hit it, it's more of just a straight trail, and you can really kind of just hit it, get up to the speed limit, and those 8 miles go by pretty quick. Now, as for the difficulty rating on this, we're giving it a 2 out of 5 stars. To be honest, we considered giving it a 1, but we bumped it up to the 2 because if you're a brand new rider, you might get a little skittish on this trail system. Overall, it's really not technical, and the only reason we're giving it 2 stars is because of some of the rocky areas and just small hills and turns along the trail system. Now, as for the trail environment, this trail is located just outside of Two Harbors, and it runs all the way to Silver Bay. The trail runs through the forest, along the historic Alger Grade logging railroad bed, forest roads, and trails. And I gotta say, I know there's those 8 miles or so logging road that kind of take away from that deep forest feel, but overall, you really do feel like you are just deep in the forest. And otherwise, it's pretty much all on designated ATV trails. It does connect to the Moose Walk and Red Dot trail systems. In fact, let's go ahead and pull up a map of the area quick. And while I do that, one thing I do want to mention right as I get this up is all these rest areas. As you can see here, there's multiple rest areas along this trail. So if you're looking for just an awesome day to get out, relax, enjoy some scenery, have a nice ride, definitely consider this trail. I mean, you can hit these rest areas, stop. They've got actual hardened structures to rest in, bathrooms along the route, and then they've even got fire pits. So if you want to bring some dogs or whatever and just grill out while you're there, that's, it can make for an awesome day. Now, as we continue down the trail, you can see where Wild Country hits the Moose Walk trail system, and then over here is the Red Dot Trail. Up here's the Moose Run. So this trail is really part of a larger trail system, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a link up over here. Check that out if you want to see some of the other trail reviews in the area here. All right, so let's get back to the trail footage and keep talking about the trail environment. So we gave it a trail environment rating of 3.5 out of 5, and I really wanted to give it a higher rating. And we came to that 3.5 because it does have dirt trails, and yeah, they're not muddy, but they're awesome dirt trails. You're deep in the woods. It's definitely a great riding experience. It runs over many rivers, so there's a lot of rivers and bridges and all that you cross. And then towards the end, there's some large rock areas, not big dangerous ones, but just add to that awesome riding experience. And the only reason we couldn't go any higher, because I mean that sounds amazing, right? But the reason we couldn't go any higher is quite honestly, the logging road really takes away from this trail. And again, some people like logging roads, that's great. In this case, it's just kind of thrown in a different type of trail environment, if that makes sense. So you've got one type of trail environment, and then all of a sudden you've just got this 8 miles of different road, and then back to the trail environment. So it was a little weird. I understand why they had to connect it that way. It's just kind of takes from the overall experience. And then the other reason is the views aren't as good as the Moose Walk. Again, they're good views. You're out in the woods, it's awesome. You just don't have some of those scenic overlooking views like you would on the Moose Walk Trail if you took that. Which leads me to the next point, and that is if you're gonna go all the way to the North Shore but can only ride for 1 day, we honestly recommend you check out the Moose Walk Trail system. Overall, we just think it's gonna provide you with a better trail experience. Now, I should mention as well, we do have a North Shore guide, which you can check out in the link below, and it's only $2, and that's gonna talk to you more about multiple trails along this trail system, as well as some options for either single day or multi-day events. All right, so amenities. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a map here. Here's two harbors right here. Now this is the Country Inn and this is the American. There's a lot of other lodging in the area. We just talk about these two specifically because they're right in two harbors and they're just a few miles from, in fact, I'm gonna show you here. If you go down this road, that's how you'd get to the trailhead. But there are some amazing lodging opportunities in and around the two harbors area. I mean, it's a gorgeous area, so definitely get on Google if you don't want to stay at either one of those. Just do some digging. You'll find plenty of hotel options. Now, again, the only thing with that is these are not actually along the trail system. There's really no lodging on the trail. If you're going to stay in the Two Harbors area and hit this trail system, you are going to have to trailer your machines to the actual trailhead. Otherwise, your best bet is to stay up in Silver Bay, start with Moose Walk, Red Top, and all those, and then you can meander to the Wild Country Trail from those. All right, so as far as options along the trail, there really isn't any lodging, there really isn't any camping, there really isn't any food, and there really isn't any gas. So make sure you've got all that stuff squared away before you hit the trail, because once you're on the trail, your only option is to put your machines back on the trail or go all the way into Silver Bay or Beaver Bay and hit gas or food in there. In fact, we're actually coming up on the Moose Walk Trail intersection right here. So if you want to stay on the Wild Country Trail, this is where you do your U-turn and head back. Otherwise, you can head one way and go into Silver Bay, and the other opposite way, and you head towards Finland in those large loops. And that's a whole different video. Again, you can check the link out for that down below. And that's gonna lead us to the question of the day. Have you been on this trail system before, and what are your thoughts? And if you haven't, did this video do a good enough job helping you determine what type of trail this is and if it's a trail you want to hit? Leave those comments down below. Like this video if it was helpful. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you on the trail. Oh my gosh, these freaking skeeters are out of control. I'm dying. Oh, I can't think right. These mosquitoes are killing me. I've killed so many mosquitoes. It's like a murder scene out here. It's a freaking bloodbath out here. It's a bloodbath! It's a bloodbath! Ugh.